Hello and welcome to the Sports Blog on the Greater STL Sports Network. Robert Bolsey here with you. You can tweet me at RBolseyJR. You can tweet the Greater STL Sports Network at Greater STL. SN. You can find us on Facebook now. Just search it up, Greater STL Facebook. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll send you the link. No problem. You can find us just about anywhere now. iTunes, Google Play. I've seen it on Stitchers. I said it in the last podcast. So we're just about everywhere. YouTube, of course. I don't know if I got the YouTube there. Definitely get us on YouTube. Now, this is pretty good week. I don't actually have nothing to come on here and bitch about, except the internet's not working. I guess I do got something to bitch about. So this is gonna kind of be a mystery podcast. I wanted to do it yesterday. I had a bunch of excuses, and then I came with the same excuse today, and then I didn't think of the same excuse yesterday. Was how am I gonna get it up? What is called the mystery podcast. I don't really put the numbers on podcasts. I don't know when that started. Like people started putting the numbers. Like maybe that started from the beginning. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too retarded to do it. But I never really numbered these, so I might could put it up as a mystery podcast. I'll just put it up as today's date. When it goes up, it goes up. But we're actually going to start this podcast off with sports. As the Cardinals have with the Angels in town and Albert Pujols coming back to St. Louis after 8 years. And I don't think the reception was a bad thing. You hear some people saying maybe it was too much, maybe it was overblown. But his first at bat really didn't get to have a good ovation because he came up during a game. The Cardinals were down at the time. It was kind of in the middle of the game, middle of the inning. So I don't think that's the ovation that you really wanted to give him. So when that kind of ovation kind of floated away, I think it was smart just to give it to him all weekend. And then he hits the home run, which is something that you wanted to see from him. You wanted to see that. Now, at the time, the Cardinals were up 4-0. Now, what I wonder was, what would have happened if I would have tied the game or took over the lead in the game at the time it happened? We had a kind of feel for a guy like Daniel Hudson. Michael Wacha got booed for walking him, but Daniel Hudson there just allowed a home run, and he has to let Pujols do a curtain call. But I think for what it was, for the best player that most of the people that are seen growing up, or as they got older and got more into baseball, or even the ones that might have seen Stan the Man back in the day, or maybe think Mark McGwire is a better player. Get to see guys like that I like Ray Langford. Maybe you never know. But for 11 years, that was the best player in baseball, and he was on the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, he just about tops at every Cardinals record. You can say about the contract, he took a bigger contract to go somewhere else, and that's true. But do you want $1 or do you want $20 million? I mean, that's the only way you can logically really look at it. No matter how much he was getting, do you want $1 or do you want $20 million? And I don't know if that services contract's a real thing. I think maybe after he's seen what happened in St. Louis, he might want to try to do more things back here, even though he already does with charity. Just someone else runs it. Matt Holliday ran it. I'm gonna guess it's Matt Carpenter or somebody like that now. But for 11 years, he was the best player in baseball. Got you 2 World Series championships. Basically, a 3 plus 300, almost 330, 30 home run, 100 RBI guy for 11 years. Played phenomenal defense. Gold Glover at first base. Played multiple positions when you needed him to. Played left field. Played third base. I think he was even a short one time. I think I remember seeing him in center field. Tony kind of did that with the players. Alan Craig was playing second base at a time. So I don't think there was any chance that or any way to even boo him. I mean, you've seen some on Twitter, best fans of baseball, a great account to follow for stuff like this. And just for a side note on that, my brother got tweeted by them one time, retweeted by him for something he said about Chris Bryant. And I said, I'm kind of jealous that my brother got retweeted before I did. But they were saying, fuck Pujols and all that and blah, blah. Like, that's just people who want to talk shit on Twitter. I mean, do you really want that contract on the roster? There's logical things to think about, even though when I was listening to a show the other day, they were saying, well, think of this Brett Cecil, Dexter Fowler contracts and contracts like that, and you add them all up, that's basically Pujols' contract right there. But at the time, was it good for the team? Now, they said you maybe not been able to keep Yachty at the time, or you might not have been able to keep Wainwright. Now, you've heard them stories for years. But the contracts they got now, do you feel like you're in the same position? I would always love to see Pujols come back. I don't think with the foot that even if he gets out of that contract, which would be 2 years, that he could come back and actually be an asset to the team. Like, he's not going to sit on the bench. That's just not going to happen. I mean, he's kind of lucky he gets to play DH now. Even though they had him at first base all weekend either. That was more for show. Then he also gets the curtain call in the last at bat, coming out when he got out in the 9th inning. I mean, it was just a cool thing. It didn't all the way disappoint. You seen the Cardinals get a lead in the series. And you're thinking, oh, nothing else bad can happen. It's almost perfect. And then Jordan Hicks goes out and gets hurt. Martinez not a closer. Now you see my little Wainwright thing's getting a little closer now, where Wainwright comes in and is the closer. Definitely with Reyes going out of the rotation, you're going to have to look elsewhere if this rotation keeps faltering like Flannery did tonight. And I didn't get to see the ovation of Piscotty got. I almost sounded like I was going to sell spaghetti or something. But Steven Piscotty got tonight. I'm done with that name. I'm already done. So we'll have to see how he got that. I don't know if it was the same amount of ovation, depending on where he batted. And the inning he batted. But it's not going to be all weekend like it was for Pujols. It definitely with a Tuesday, Wednesday night, Thursday series. I can't believe I messed up Piscotty more than fucking once. That's almost a reason to just start over on the whole podcast. Almost. But then you look at it and you see with Reyes going out, and you also see with Hicks going out. Like, there was Campbell right there. There's Dallas Keuchel right there. And then you have a team in your division making that move. With Chicago. Then Atlanta getting the other one. Atlanta's a really good team. Like, you're fighting these teams in the playoffs. And you're just not going out there and making any kind of decent moves. You're relying on some system that you think you built. And Tommy Edmonds, maybe one of them guys. But that's really it. You lose in depth. By the second, you have nothing to replace it. I mean, Brebbia goes out and gets hit tonight. And you're just throwing him out there, just throwing him out there, and just throwing him out there. Doing the same thing with Gant. I mean, you pretty much are losing depth second by second by second. And you have nothing to replace it with. Because of what you thought. You thought Alex Reyes, boom. I mean, how could that happen? We get Jordan Hicks goes down and you lose Alex Reyes. And I really see the evaluation of Reyes, but shoulder discomfort, I mean, that can't be a good thing. And it sucks to ruin a weekend like this for something like that. And it really didn't ruin it at all. It's just some things you gotta think about. soon enough, this Blues run is going to be over, and it's going to be all Cardinals, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse as it goes on. And for some reason, I know it's like it seems like they've almost gave in already, even if they're saying they're exploring trade opportunities and stuff like that. Well, you didn't have to make trade opportunities. You had two of the pieces you needed in free agency all the way up to June. And if you try to go sign them, say it. But they won't say stuff like that. You see the little reported things, it always says interest. And I really don't believe they're saying. And the Martinez thing gets even scarier because with the rotation the way it is and losing Alex Reyes and things like that, that he's still getting put in a bullpen situation, which I've said the whole time I'd love to see him as a closer. He had a little flair last year. Seems like he's just more into that role, even with the contract he's got. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe you have Martinez down there already. You don't want to sign another big name contract to go in the bullpen. But you're in a situation where this division's down and you have a chance. And you're losing games because you have no one else to put out there but Gann and Berria. And you just can't keep throwing them out there. And I didn't really want to get off on this rant, but it was just something to think about with Hicks going down. Like, what almost a perfect weekend could have been. Sproles hits a home run, it's 4-1. They go there, it's 4-2. And then you have Hicks coming in and close out the game. Game's over. Pujols got his home run. He got his ovation. He got his curtain call. So he almost thinks it's over, and then Hicks goes out there and gets it. What scared me even more about this game is they brought in Tyler Webb to try to finish out the game, right? I got scared for a second. I said, is that Webb? Holy shit. But you've lost your depth and you're pitching that quick. And you could have made a difference. And the Cardinals have to somehow stop relying on the system no matter what the money they have put out. Even when Brett Cecil comes back, is he going to be the Cardinals' Brett Cecil run? Even when, I guess we'll call the Blue Jays Brett Cecil. I mean, it's just, you keep spinning around in the same circle. You're not rowing the boat the same way. You're rowing the boat different ways. I mean, 4 years in a row of missing the playoffs after what the Blues did. And this year is really going to, I think, be a bigger thing than the Cardinals ever thought about. And it's going to come a lot later. So. It's just, when you have the position you're in with your hitters not hitting, they didn't upgrade where they could have upgraded very easily. I mean, you had teams going out here and signing Carlos Gomez, like 2 teams already. You got Alonso in New York hitting 27 home runs already. When you don't have that kind of depth in your system. Because I look at the stats, I'm weird. I look at the minor league stats and I see it, and I look and see that, well, Altair Garcia's not doing that well. But then after that, it's really nothing. You can keep going down. Well, someone else would have got brought up. They brought up another guy that's been in the minor league for 10 years. Yeah, maybe that's a new story that they can build here. And I think he's already gone back because Munoz is probably come back into play. That's another guy that needs to get more playing time to see what you got. It's kind of scary for what I think of Dexter Fowler in center and Jose Martinez in right field. Like a ball I thought that could have been caught. Maybe if Bader was out there and you had Fowler in right field. It didn't even look like either one of them thought they were even going to think about catching. I mean, I really didn't see much of the game, but I seen enough. But Bader ain't producing, and you really have nobody else to put out there. I mean, you could think about putting Ozuna in center field and trying something else, but I mean, it's not a very good thought. Maybe they'll try to think with Colton Long again. I mean, there's thoughts, but there's no depth to pursue. You have to have these random ass thoughts. I mean, what should have been the best weekend of the year could almost be the turning point into the worst weekend of the year. Because I really like seeing how Cardinals fans showed out for this. And you can say the best fans of baseball thing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's nothing that I'm like going to go out here and say that we are. But they showed out. They showed what he did for us. And it was the better way to go than I think booing him. I mean, to boo our own pitchers basically twice with the curtain call and then when Michael Walker walked him. And thank God the internet didn't go down before then. Holy shit. It would have been a whole total trip. I would have been down at work every second that I could. I'm mostly cooking on the weekends. But I'm off Friday, so I got to see the first one. So that was kind of cool. And I got to see the home run that happened during the day, so I was kind of just back there cooking, and then I see the home run. And I watched it, and I wanted to see if he got the curtain call. That's what I was telling my boss when he walked by. He's like, what are you looking out there for? I was like, I want to see if he got the curtain call. Of course, they gave it to him. That was kind of cool to see. I wish I could have been there. Like, I really didn't want to turn this into a bad thing. Of course, I've been good on my Cardinal rants. Not really rants, it's just stuff that you see. I think I just go, oh, it's a little tangent. Talking about, oh, greatest player in 11 years. Man, damn, Evan Carter. John Mozeliak. Don't give me Mike Shell, please. Not Mike Shell. I don't even remember the GM, Mike Gersh. I don't want to hear that. He's Pony Boy. He's the coffee getter. That's what he has. That's I mean, you just hear from me and John looked into this. You know, I know Mo's looked into this. So you can get Gersh to go good boys. Mozeliak has to show that he's a better GM, like he claims to be with all these statistical things and things like that. Because it hasn't worked in 4 years. And I'm not going to keep getting on this tangent because I really want to talk about the pool this week a little bit more. Because I don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks about him leaving and all that. Because he gave you his 11 years of greatness. And you could tell he kind of enjoyed it. He cracked a couple smiles. Yachty kind of forced it out of us. We kind of just followed him with him standing out there and not moving away and making sure he got it when he should rightfully get in. Kind of sucks that he didn't lead off anything in that first at bat. That would have been a lot better, I think, of Nation. But hey, we hooked him up over the weekend. Like 2 curtain calls and only one off a home run. It was just kind of cool when you're growing up in baseball. In 2000, I guess I was 13 when he came up. So to see that until I was 24 was kind of cool. I mean, seeing 2 World Truck Series championships. And people don't get to see that in a lifetime. And I get to go to a playoff game in the meantime. A playoff game somewhere there, the Cardinals end up losing. I seen a game where Oscar Taveras and Colton Wong and Matt Adams all hit a home run in the playoff game. And I think that was after Pujols, but who cares? But some of the things that you never, and there was other changes to '04. I mean, it's just cool to see what him being on the team provided you with entertainment for this team. I mean, some people don't get to see two World Series championships in a lifetime. Look at Cleveland. I mean, as of right now, we've only got to see one Stanley Cup, and that's good enough for me. I mean, just if you're 30 years old like me, so you're 13. So, I mean, I would say anywhere from a person who was born about 92 on up, you can remember seeing a Super Bowl win, two World Series championships, and a Stanley Cup. Also losing the Super Bowl. Also losing two World Series. Blues seem in the position every year that at least fighting for the Stanley Cup. I mean, teams that you have since 2000 like had a chance to win the Stanley Cup, even though there were some bad years in there for the Blues. Not many for the Cardinals and some of the football we see. But it's kind of cool that we've got to witness that. And this just adds another thing to it with Pujols. And he was part of that. So we should give him the credit he deserved. I mean, then nobody booed Jake Allen at the Blues Parade, which I may still do my Blues podcast. I'm going to talk more about it then. But hey, give credit where credit's due. There was times that Jake Allen had to become King Kong and stick up this team. And I mean, they've had bad defense for 3 or 4 years, and he's been the goalie. He's been the go-to goalie. So, but it's just another thing you can add to a list. And even if people think that they can remember the Super Bowl from later on born, I mean, just to see the mementos, like, oh, I was born in 2000. That's the year we got our only Super Bowl. Or 2006 or 2010, and now 2019 with the Blues. But even getting to witness this with Pujols, and then him getting the home run, you almost wanted that first at bat for that front to go out. Like he's going back. I'm like, and you're just banging it almost. Like you're not thinking it, but you're almost begging for it that it's going out. Like, and I thought that's what was cool about it. You weren't rooting for the Angels, you were rooting for the Cardinals to win, but you were rooting against the Cardinals just there for a couple of moments, and I think that's kind of cool in sports when you can do that. You can root against your hometown crowd just for that moment. I mean, those are the kind of cool moments to me that come up in like sports live. Like you're almost rooting when the Stanley Cup came around, the Blues, Brett Hall in the crease, and you're almost rooting for the Stars to win that Stanley Cup because it's Brett Hall and he didn't get one. I can't think of many Cardinals like that though. Matt Holliday, when he was with Colorado, that's another one to think about. So just little things like that. Kind of cool to root for in sports. I can't think of many. I guess Kurt Warner with Arizona, that could be one. I mean, I always think it's cool. I always say it's funny to say that Tony Banks was starting for the Super Bowl in the beginning of the season for the Ravens when they won their Super Bowl. And Trent Dilfer finishing it out. But still, hey, Tony Banks got him a Super Bowl. I think that's kind of cool. Hey, we kind of messed up his life there for a little bit. Just some little moments where that you can say, I'm going to root for Pujols for a second against the Cardinals. Or anytime you can do it at any time. Definitely for a guy like Kurt Warner. Or Robert Pujols or Matt Holliday against the Cardinals. That was kind of cool. And that's a lot of experiences that people don't have in a lifetime, what we experience just since the year 2000. In 1998, really, with the home run chase. So just in a little bit of a short amount of time, in 21 years, I mean, just think how much that is the experience in sports. And that's why I think it was a big weekend, because we showed Pujols the love that we experience from these teams, and it's kind of, it's a passion. Love is a passion for sports. People that like sports to get to see those. So I'm glad that we showed him that we appreciate what to get them experiences. And we go overboard sometimes. Greg Garcia got a nice little ovation. Daniel Descalso probably got one when he was here. So we go a little overboard with it sometimes, but I don't think this was overboard. I think this was the right amount. So it's kind of a cool weekend to kind of sit back and not have to think about how bad the Cardinals are, or damn, we just won, damn, just something to get away from. Just take a break from the Stanley Cup for a day. Even though I really didn't either. But for that 3 hours. Now we'll stay in St. Louis County. Just for fun. We'll stay in St. Louis. And I'm going to get off the sports for a little bit. I'm going to get back on it. So I was, for what I got to see on the internet today, I seen that St. Louis County is going to issue subpoenas for the Northwest Plaza lease program, which is basically funny money where people got. They're basically paying Stinger to get leases down there for the revamped Northwest Plaza, which the deal always seemed kind of fishy to me because stores are moving in and out at all times. I mean, in all the stories you heard about the asbestos, and then I remember the movie theater, how destroyed that looked the last time I was there. So I grew up in San Diego my whole life, so I was there millions of times. Not millions, but you get it. Just how suddenly got all of a sudden rebuilt up like that. I mean, it's kind of funny where the Menards is in Northwest Plaza. I mean, just the store's closing down quick too. As soon as they come in, they reel them out. And just little things like that seem just kind of fishy to me. And then you hear about it, and you're like, yeah, that sounds like St. Anne. Something fishy going on. I just can't see how politicians, and I get some of it to get off the side. Like I never had a problem with Sally Faith kind of did in St. Charles. She got these little small amounts here and there. Just little political deals. But these politicians, like Steve Sanger, he just wanted all the money. Hey, if you're going to make these deals happen, I'm saying, get your sign a little contract here or there. Don't make it look as fishy as you did. And now you've lost, I don't know, just the better living or the better, whatever it is, better community STL thing that he was a big part of. That, of course, that was going to fall back. You got people in his regime that are having to pay millions of dollars back. I mean, it's just something to think about. These are the people that we're actually voting for, and that we're just saying it because of what they say, and we see it. It's kind of like right before our eyes almost. And we see, and I don't vote, and I shouldn't be talking about it, but it's like right before our eyes, we see what they do, and then it's just becomes sneakier and sneakier because we keep putting them in there. They just find more ways to get more sneaky. I think the Better Connect thing would work. Merge these two places together and let's funnel the money into downtown St. Louis, which should be a destination point for people that they're too scared to get killed. Blah blah. So we can bring the MLS Stadium in. So maybe we can get more events at the Dome. Maybe move the XFL to the MLS Stadium. Try to keep these things around. Try to keep the XFL around at least. It should be an entertainment spot. Really, Six Flags St. Louis shouldn't be in Eureka. It should be downtown St. Louis, or at least close to it. Because we turn so many opportunities down for jobs, and we're a big community. You're funneling down your own community. I didn't mean to say funneling down, but you're bringing down your own community by turning away these businesses and not giving discounts to these businesses. And the cops downtown need help. If you can't, someone can't get shot at a baseball game, or you can't worry about a shooting at a baseball game. Guards can't stop getting broken into, and what should be a destination spot. So obviously they need help. And even with something to be worked out with St. Charles County, not saying that there are a bunch of residents across that bridge. I've always said that bridge is like demon water to most people from St. Charles. But provide events too, and like with Ameristar, it's kind of stupid to where Hollywood and Ameristar are. They're so close to each other. And then you got Lumiere. I mean, it's like we just don't plan things out. When it's right there across the bridge where Ameristar is. But and people already know Ameristar. And yet we put a casino right down the street. It's not really better or anything. With the Dave and Buster's right there, which should be another, which people go to. It's family, fun experience, and casino can be with other people, but there's a casino right down the street, and you're at Dave and Buster's, you look out, and you see, wow, that's Ameristar. Let's go to Ameristar. Did you see Hollywood down there? Well, we already see this one. I mean, where Hollywood's hidden, you can't really see it from the highway. You can see Ameristar if you look straight ahead. And you could have put something else down there. I mean, we should all be working together. It's better together, SDF, of course. Duh. You see, I put two to two together. I just have to keep thinking. Sometimes I'm pretty good on this podcast. But you're almost bidding against yourselves. Because people are more going to want to go downtown. Unless they hear about the stories about downtown. But then people still want to go to the destinations by the same Louis. They still want to go see Cardinals baseball. They still want to go see Ballpark Village. But it could be more well worked out. Where there's three counties working together to generate revenue for all three. And you cost yourself for definitely where you put Hollywood. Lumiere is kind of in a good spot. Parking's a little difficult from where you're sitting at. Ameristar's a perfect spot, really. Never heard too much bad about Ameristar. Never got my car broken into. And did a lot of staying, a lot of playing in Ameristar. I lived in St. Charles forever, so I know what it's about. But you could have easily just funnel people to that casino instead of bringing people to your casino. Based on more Dave and Buster's, put something else out there. Put a laser tag thing or something like that. Gotten fit. Like, some people don't want to travel hours away out of to do fun things. So fit is where like the best laser tag place is, swing around fun time. I mean, there's other things you could have created that would have been better suited for the community as a whole. It just irritates me that they don't work together like that. It's not even a thought. Like with all the hotels and stuff in our city, like where you telling people they can go to this Shack in a Box or this McDonald's, like, oh, they have to go eat at the casino or Dave and Buster's. I mean, that's really the only choices they got. And yeah, I guess people could go down the Rock Road and stuff like that, but you're not really putting all the former communities together, you're kind of relying on we get enough. So we got the casino and stuff like that. Well, when people drive down the highway, they're getting on it. They see Ameristar straight ahead. Where do you see Hollywood? I don't even know if you see the signs for it, or you might see it, and you're like, oh, you wonder where that is. Well, we see that one right there. It's just like it's not even thought out. Like everybody knows what Ameristar is. I mean, you had Harris, it's Hollywood, probably something else in between there. I mean, you really don't hear too many people talk about it. Instead, we got politicians just trying to make their own money and not losing their jobs and losing things that probably could help us work out. And then now you're going to look into the Northwest Plaza thing, and who says that's how long that's going to run? Now, you got people going in and looking at that. And they could easily say, oh, we shut this whole place down, look what we got. I mean, it's just not well thought out things. Now, I was just talking about the XFL a second ago with the soccer stadium and stuff. I was reading a story today on that AAF, the American Alliance Football, the other football league that we somehow have magically had so many days filled up at the Dome that they couldn't play here. I mean, that's just so St. Louis. I mean, we can't move this monster truck and then around because for your football games, they might bring revenue to our city more than this monster truck thing's going to do. But glad they did. Hey, maybe they knew something we didn't know. But now Tom Dundon was going to put $200 million into the AAF. I said AAF. Well, he ended up only putting $70 million in, and that's the end how it was structured and shut it down. Well, today their story came out to where he is suing the AAF in bankruptcy court for his whole $70 million back, saying that they know that there was misrepresentation, saying that they knew that for the money he got, they were going to at least need $300 million more, plus league revenue to survive the whole first season. I mean, this whole thing is just looking crazier by the moment. I mean, if you read the story on ESPN.com, they had a guy that was trying to buy the Minnesota Vikings. I think he ended up becoming a minority owner in it. That kept funneling money around. With the Vikings, they showed that he lied about his money when he was trying to buy the whole team. And then with the AAF, he said, oh, I'm going to put this much in. Well, they would get things of $13 million here and $14 million here. And then they froze his bank accounts because he's funneling money from other countries and stuff like that. I just can't believe that the guy that took over the league and was going to run the league and was willing to invest $200 million into it. It's all saying he didn't know what was going on. And he's the one to shut it down. And he's also the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. So he has money to throw around. So he obviously knows what he's doing if he's running a team like that, a team that made it to the playoffs, made it through a couple runs of the playoffs. They actually got famous for doing basically football celebrations after wins. Which, whatever. Do what you do. Can't hate on anyone. Do what you do. Do you. But they basically say that you to look into this when you're willing to invest $200 million is kind of crazy to me. Definitely when you already own a team and so you kind of know the ins and outs of what you have to do to run something like this. And of course, the internet went out today, so I didn't get to read the full story. It kind of ticked me off, but whatever. But I'm kind of thinking, to me, that's kind of someone you're wrongdoing. Like, how could you sue and get your money back? Like, I hope he gets his money back because obviously he was lied to a little bit about what started it first. But why would you not look deeper into it? And who the investors are and who the people that say they got this money. I mean, If you're going to be a lead investor and take over a league, wouldn't you want to know who the other investors are? They're going to provide this much for you. Like if you went in and now you're saying that they were need 500 million to keep the league going through the whole first season. How do you know that now and didn't know that then? It's like, oh, I just finally got around to reading through all the contracts and stuff and seeing what they said or doing all the numbers. Well, shouldn't you have done that at the beginning? Even though you were getting told what you were getting told. Wouldn't you think that you would look farther into it when you're just saying, I'm going to throw $200 million into this? I mean, it just fucks me up how I'd probably put money in things like that, but I'm not putting 200 million into it. Like I probably put money into stupid things where I was like, this might work, and of course it doesn't. Like, wish it was on this podcast, but it wasn't. If I'm putting 200 million in something, no matter how much money I have, no matter if I got this Carolina team that I'm worried about that's in the playoffs and blah 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 blah, I think I'm gonna say like, well, I think you guys probably need more than this to be in here. You got these. Let's talk to these other investors. And like it seemed like he didn't even do his due diligence. Like, players didn't even know if they were fired or not. And he basically just said, let's shut it down. But I think this is going to actually lead to other lawsuits for him, definitely by players. If it's, hey, this guy's going to get a $70 million, well, I'm going to go get my 3-year contract. Or whatever it was, the rest of my contract. And, hey, they were supposed to pay for this. Hey, I'm supposed to have medical. I'm supposed to have this. I'm supposed to have blah, blah, blah. And I really don't know if this could hold down that XFL. That could also make it more interesting to see how Vince McMahon's going to do it when he says that, hey, I got 500 million into this. And that's all of a sudden that the number that Dundee came up with. So, I mean, this is fishy things here and there. And we're really kind of interested in this. It may be interested in the story. Well, I am just having trouble talking today. I mean, sometimes I do get like that on the show. Where I have trouble saying words that, like, I didn't plan out before. But it made me get into this because a report that came out actually on KMOX, I guess it was yesterday, but it looks like the PSL owners of the Rams that were supposed to have 30-year PSLs are going to get some money. It reads from KMOX.com. The $24 million settlement between the Rams organization and its former STL PSL holders has been approved by a federal judge in St. Louis. It was the last heard of a lawsuit filed on behalf of the thousands of former St. Louis Rams fans. The ruling from the Monday's report hearing was first reported by David Hunt of the Post-Dispatch, who reported payouts would begin as early as December in the lawsuit against the Rams. Judge Stephen N. Limbaugh Jr. gave the approval. Depending on the numbers of former PSL holders who apply for refunds online, the Rams could be required to pay up to $24 million in settlements. And then it gives a website for if you're a PSL holder that you can apply. And this is actually from a previous reporting. Attorney Rick Cornfield tells KMOX a judge will make a final decision if the ruling is fair, reasonable, and provides adequate compensation among the claims. He says there will be no timely objection to any settlement thus far, and 43% of the PSL holders covered by the lawsuit have been approved for payouts. But he hopes more claims are filed by the August 23rd deadline. The class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of thousands of fans who bought PSLs that were good for 30 seasons, which was the length of the lease at the St. Louis Rams Stadium, formerly known as Edward Jones Dome. Rams owner Stan Kroenke took the team to California in 2016 after 21 seasons in St. Louis. The amount each PSL holder will receive will depend on the value of the PSL, which ranged anywhere from $250 to $500 based on location of the seat. There's your Fuck the Rams Weekly. I mean, it's kind of cool to hear a story like this. Like, even though you're not a PSL holder, like, hey, we're going to get something back for putting into this team. Like, I'm not going to, like, you almost want to be a part of that group. You almost want to see it that day when some of the PSL holders are going to get their money. It looks like they are. Like they deserve it. I mean, And it was funny when you seen all the hockey stats about what's watched, which I have written down. Hockey podcast coming soon, promise. Stanley Cup edition, Stanley Cup champion edition of the sports ball. We're champions. But the more people watch the Super Bowl in St. Louis than they did in California. There was an Emory University report where somebody claimed that the Rams had the worst fan base in football. Are you effing kidding me? And we're not a sports town. We watch more of your Super Bowl than your Super Day. I don't think that the St. Louis Rams will ever be the worst fan base in football. And now you have to pay these people. And all the lies that they told, and then you hear the stories how they just came out when they moved, and all the stories in the LA Post and all that. Boy, I mean, if I was one of the PSL holders that paid for this and said I was going to get 30 seasons, yeah, I'd be kind of ticked. I was ticked anyways. That's why it would only be kind of cool for the XFL to succeed here. That's what I mean. It's just to have something else for football. Like, I kind of want to see that dome get filled up on the first game at home. That's all I want to see. Just 70,000 for one game. Just to prove a point. I don't think it's going to happen. But it'd be nice to prove a point. And now you definitely, after this happens, after you get 20, they're going to pay $24 million to the people in St. Louis. I don't know how much that would be to each. I mean, I don't know if they get their money back or they get the PSLs for it. They have to pay $200 each year. But however it works, however they get it, if they get at the most, I guess, about $1,600 a piece. I mean, it's something. And it's kind of cool to think about. That, hey, we kind of fucked Stan Kroenke again. I mean, and this gives it a bigger boost with the Blues and the Pujols weekend. And then now the Rams get fucked. And you see St. Louis FC, no, which is funny to me because they beat two of those teams, but then they go back and they tie a USL team, but whatever. I mean, we're just having a good sports week. Sports 2 weeks. Just one time I want to see the dome build up for an XFL game. Just if it really happens, if the XFL game gets here, just one time. It'd actually be kind of cool for them, because of what they did at Busch Stadium, they went and did something at the football field just for fun, just to prove it. Because you probably fill it up. You try to do it on a off day, maybe like, well, I guess it'd be hard to do it during the weekday, but I bet people would show up. I bet you could fill that dome with something over there. Just fuck them. Just keep fucking them. Just seriously, just bring out things to Stan Kroenke. Like, I really hope that somehow we get that Rams Park that he does, just stuff like that. Just keep going. We're having a good couple weeks. Let's make it a good few weeks. Let's somehow just him say, I give it up this week. I doubt it, because he's probably highly ticked about this. I would be too, like I said. You want $1, you want $20 million. This is basically the same thing. Do you want to give up $1, or would you rather give up $24 million? Same thing. Same thing I said about Pujols. I'm just glad it's happening to him. Now, when you're kind of down and out, and I'm not down and out. I don't have a TV and I don't have a radio. Like, I was itching to do this. I can't. It's kind of excited me that I used to do this podcast. because it kind of gets to get my mind flowing and stuff I want to talk about and stuff like that. And like I really came to this with just the little things to talk about that I already talked about. And I think throughout the show and stuff like that. And that's why I got on my little cardinal tangent and stuff like that. But see, the history that we've seen just in these 2 weeks has really been kind of nutty. And it's enjoyable. Like, I, I can't see, like, how if you could be just involved, just to see it, and not involved in sports and not like it. And, like, that's why it's kind of cool, like, you could do what you do on Twitter, like some people call for, which is kind of fun to see people call for the hate and shit, but I don't see none of it. And I mean, I ain't got a bunch of followers. I got 40 some followers or something like that. Half of them probably muted me by now. But it's really kind of cool to do it when I get to do this podcast to get to talk about sports and stuff like this. Because when I talk about the other stuff, like sometimes I don't go back and listen to the podcast because I don't want to really think about it. Like it doesn't bring me down or nothing like that. But it starts making you think like, man, should I really put some of the stuff out here that I put out here? And like, the good thing about me is I don't tell the crazy stories on here. And sometimes when you see some of the Facebook numbers, you see some of the stories, or you go do what you do, or you see stuff, whether it's Twitter, whatever. And like, I probably used to be a lot more wild on Twitter. I don't say nothing on Twitter now. It's like almost something you want to talk about. And I do talk about crazy stories. I kind of hide them with the way they go, which I've always wanted to talk, like, kind of like put myself out there, kind of like in a way I've always wanted to talk, just to talk on the podcast sometimes. Like I'm not just interested in sports, something, but it's the thing that interests me the most. Like I'm not a big music fan. I'm not gonna come on here and try to explain to you the new Tiger, Drake, whatever. I don't know why I said Tiger. I hate. But just to talk the talk. And that's what was kind of fun about doing them, like some 3 week ones, 3 a week ones, because I would just talk about anything. It was just kind of fun to do. Like sometimes it's kind of fun to call in here and kind of complain and just kind of talk shit, and just be like, and just kind of laugh at like things that happen. Like, man, I've had a good week at work. I've had a good week at the crib. I've had a good week, you know, some of the stuff dealing with banks, which technology is like my asshole. I mean, this shit keeps flying. Shit just keeps goes everywhere. But even without the internet, I knew I could record something. I knew that, hey, something happened at the bank with my card. Just walk up there and get a new card. Like, this shit goes down. TV goes down or whatever. Or involve Bluetooth radio. When the internet does what it does, I'll get on here and just download as much podcasts or even listen to one-on-one at night. Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, listening to music at night for some reason. I've never been a fan of that. I always like listening to the talk radio. And one-on-one's about the best thing you're listening. I don't know what 97.1 plays. That might be a little scary to go try to listen and see what they play. You turn it on and you got Glenn Beck just blaring in your ear or something like that. Like, maybe not. Like, and like, what's kind of fun is like, this, since I have this is like I listen to music at work and I can put it on rap or whatever. And some people listen, some people don't like it. But yeah, whatever. Hey, let's just do what we listen to. So I can listen to classical rock. I can listen to alternative music. I'm not a big heavy metal guy. We don't play that off my phone at least. But I'm just a, and it's like talking about all kinds of stuff. Like I wanted to talk about the Northwest Plaza thing, right? And like, if you put yourself out here in the world, why not try to make something off of it, or try to have fun doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like I have a lot of fun at work, like just talking shit, and I have a lot of fun when I do the things when I just talk shit on this podcast. Like pet peeves, like people, like today I walk in the Dollar General, and I'm just walking down the road, and you know, there's people honking at me and shit at night and fucking scaring the fuck out of me. Like I'm not paying no attention, and I'm just walking across the street, and someone flies by you honking their horn and shit like that. Like that shit really just annoying, you know. Like I remember when I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, fuck you, or hey, you know, or throw my hands up or whatever, you know. Now I just like, I'm too old for this shit. I'm not gonna, yeah. If you can do it, piss me off whatever. Like I'm going over here, get my Rellos, get me some soda. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna smoke a blunt, I'm gonna do this podcast. Like, fuck that, you ain't stopping my night tonight. It would be kind of cool if I was like that on everything. Because I do get like a little emotional, like stuff that happens, like things that people not calling me back, or like when I don't write John and shit like that. But that shit, like, just for some reason gets to me. And I let it happen. People talking down for no reason. To like, they're not even on me, but other people. And shit like, I'm like, man, you know, that stuff, for some reason, when you're younger, you want to fight over shit like that. Now I'm just like, okay. I like the political talk with people. Like, people, like, I like to get, like, before I'd be like, no, just don't talk about it. Like, I'm not going to listen to it. And now with political talk, I just giggle. Whether it's Democrat, Republican, I think it's funny to me. And like getting on these dating sites and seeing these girls, like if you like Trump, or if you don't like Trump, or if you like Obama, like it's not gonna happen. Like, bitch, like, why do we have to talk about it? What's the fun in talking about it? This, we're gonna get this, we're gonna go vote. No, you're not getting nothing. Like, let's sit here and smoke a blunt and talk about South Park. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the reason to talk about it? Like, what changes you talking about? Like, are we all gonna run for office? Like, that's what it makes you feel like. It feels like it makes me feel like the people like to stick. Like, well, if I ran for office, like the people that come out there and say, well, if I did this and I did, well, I grew a weed crop in the middle of my yard. I would be the happiest person ever, but I ain't doing that. If I had 15 bitches up here sitting on my couch right now, I'm not doing that. And that shit just always makes me laugh when people say that kind of stuff. And that's what it makes me think when people, well, I like it for this reason because if he's doing this and then we can do this. Well, it makes me say, well, if I ran for president, I would take every one of Trump's things, but I would do this. And that's, and it's like, it's just funny when you get older, like, the stuff just becomes crazy to you. Like, Twitter is the best place for political stuff. Like, I like going to, like, where you can go and you push a search thing and you can search for people and I'll have to, like, you follow this person, so we're gonna give you a bunch of other comedians, and they just say stupid shit. They're like, put the rapist in jail, and come on. And then a girl was talking the other day because Buddy was talking about the student loan debt, and she was basically, well, I paid off this, and I paid off my student loan debt by myself. Why is it reasonable for you to pay off all these other people's student loans? Essentially, and I don't have the exact tweet, but I see her talking about it. Well, why do you care if you paid off your student loan and you feel like that money is something to you? And obviously, more than one person seeing it, like you have the money, like why are we not helping each other out as people? That's the stuff that gets to me. And that's why I wanted to talk about the Northwest Plaza thing, because where are we getting singling out certain kinds of people? I mean, it's kind of just lazy to me. It's just a lazy hot take. They'd be like, but the Cardinals suck because they suck. No, I mean, it's basically what it's saying. Well, why are we helping other people when you didn't help me out? I mean, it's just the kind of stuff like that that it just makes you not want to be around anybody. I mean, think of the efforts that could be done if you merge and you help everybody in a community with two different entities and really 19 million because we got so many different municipalities. It'd be ridiculous. So we go and bitch about student loans. Or we find reasons that marijuana kills people so they can't have it legal. Or the doctors in Missouri are making it hard for people to get cards so they don't want to issue them because they're scared. I mean, it's just stuff like that. If you work together and not just always hate on someone else, hate on somebody else for something that's got something that you don't. That'd be like every dude single out here, going out here and just going to a restaurant and start cussing people out because they got a girlfriend. And people don't, I mean, there's people that do that kind of shit, but they're weirdo motherfuckers. Like, I really think like either these people don't get laid or they really need like the medical marijuana. And if you got it, you know, you want to keep it out of yourself, I mean, I totally understand. If you don't want to make it legal because you out here getting it, you're paying people off to keep it legal because they're supplying you with whatever you want. Cool, man. Cool, dude. Uh, we should don't come up with these reasons that it's a gateway drug and shit like that. Like, I've never smoked weed. Like, damn, I want to go do some cocaine. Damn, I want to go shoot up heroin. I mean, it just seems like that we have to find the bad and all everything that could be good. It's one of them. I mean, I guess they're called, I don't know if they're called Venn diagrams. But you have the good, you have the bad, and you have the same. Well, there's not much on the bad side with any of it. With becoming, making two communities one, when you got so much money falling out of both, and you're using money in both, and you need to create jobs. Definitely with how much money that we know that's funneling through there now with the stinger thing, that when we know how much you make for working 3-4 days a week, 3 or 4 hours a day, and making $100,000 salaries, or even close to it. And I understand that most of the people did say, yeah, mate, then people are going to say, why didn't I make my salary? Well, then make a fucking difference. I mean, I still see why everything has to become a fight, or everything has to be. You have to go against the grain of everybody. I mean, just to run out of road and honk at somebody, like, to fuck with somebody, like, that's just fucked up. To be, like, I never thought about honking at somebody that's walking down the side of the road. Like, even when I was driving. Like, this is the longest I haven't had a car in 16 years, and this is fucking ridiculous. Like, sometimes when you're walking, you're just kind of walking, and you're like, why the fuck am I still walking? Like, the other day, my dad was offering me to buy me a bike, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I kind of like walking. And then I'm walking the other day to somewhere I got to go that was kind of far to cash my check. And I was like, man, I probably should let him buy me that bike. And I was walking for a while. I was walking 2 miles a day to work and back. And I don't think that, like, less people, I don't think anybody really fucked with me too much. I think, you know, I get picked up more out here. Great Lincoln County. People are a lot nicer out here than North County. People scared to go shoot them in North County out here. You know, you see a guy in a freaking Mizzou hat with his hair put up. Like, I'm not really going to, like, harm anybody. It's just, like, it's funny how we fight against each other for nothing. It gets you nowhere with nothing. And it's been happening in the counties for years. In the county with in St. Louis City. And I mean, there's just other things I didn't even think about with like the zoo and stuff like that. I mean, just think if you could find ways. I mean, Trans Hams, the MetroLink. You probably need more MetroLink. But anything, restaurants that work with bad buses that can bring people down to the city, or just stuff like that. Just something that you can make a difference at and help grow the city instead of keep bringing it down. And everybody that wants to bitch about the politics and stuff like that, then that's what you should start doing. Because I'm not sitting here bitching about it. Do you? I mean, I guess. I keep saying that do you thing, but then I have complaints about people. I'm not going to judge you because of it. And that's why I say do you. Because I mean, do what you got to do. If you got an agenda, fit it. Mine just happens to be, let's all work together with create something that we haven't seen in a long time. When you had the 1904 World's Fair, things like that. There was carnivals and stuff downtown. Fairs, I mean, you had that in Eureka. Why Six Flags St. Louis and Eureka? It's just a crazy thing to think about while I'm doing the podcast. This week got good time to do it because like I said, I was trying to think of a way to bring it up. It's the history we've just witnessed in the last 25 years. And I think that with the younger generation, and I think that's something we could use to look what we did in downtown St. Louis, and nothing bad happened twice with the parade and the celebration after the game. Look what we could make this city, even though what you've heard about this city. Look what we can make it. And start knocking down buildings and bringing up apartments. Stop having these places where people are allowed to get these drugs and do the drugs. I mean, they're not going to knock it all out because people are just moving to homes, but at least they're in homes. At least they're not lighting fires and shit and burning down buildings or buildings aren't falling on people. I mean, a few years ago, I remember. And I think the Dewitt's are smart about this. When they built Busch Stadium, I remember pieces falling off and hitting the sidewalk and almost hitting people. And they had to fix the stuff. And because they built it cheaply, because they know in 20 years that they're going to have to probably find a new stadium, just the way the market rolls. And they're doing everything themselves. Just think of them people building up St. Louis. Tom Stillman, Jim Cavanaugh. It's like people we could bring into this. I mean, St. Louis FC plays down in Fenton. What the hell? I'm not saying and that's the part they should play at, but if it's a St. Louis thing, we should bring all these different things that we can bring in the city by just doing little itty bitty things. Paying to knock down buildings. If we're paying you so much a year, you can't find a way in the budget to knock down buildings and make something look better that could be 20 times better than like these other cities have. And it's just because there's always a fight now. Everybody just wants to be different. I mean, with a guy like Antonio French down there, people like that, who's not around no more, try to run for governor, blah, blah, blah. Didn't win, of course. But just off what just happened, and just see how your city came out. It did this for the Blues, it did this for Pool Rolls. And there are things you could build on. I mean, the people are going to want to invest in this stuff. And we're not letting them. I wish people could invest in this podcast, It's just funny how we all fight. How we all have to have a different opinion on something. Whether it's something anybody like fuck with the guy coming down the street, or when it's walking past, like, do I go past there because of the cop, or do I walk under ladders, or black cat, it's just funny, see, it just gets me sometimes, it just makes me like, definitely a politics. Like, I always like to hear different people's opinions on sports, politics, it's just funny, but even everyday life, how to deal with certain situations, like, I never was into like talking about the chick stories, but even like people saying, "Oh yeah, I heard that story about shooting your chick, and y'all need to try this or something like, just stuff like that. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to sit there and bullshit, kind of like we did for the last 15, 20 minutes. Well, we're gonna get this up when we get this up, but we're gonna get it up for Lori R.I.P. For Johnny Free, my homie. For my grandma Bowlesby R.I.P. I love you. For my grandma Hicks, love you, grandma. For Jake, Maddie, Zach, Amanda, and Joe, this has been a sports blog on the Greater STL Sports Network.